This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and I have 10 news stories from the weekend that you've had as Conversational to present to you in mere moments. They cover information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. We have Mike Tyson, Caitlin Clark, and Jill Biden in the queue today. I'll explain the vetting process in just a bit, how these stories got to be here with us today, and give you some great stuff, fun stuff we're calling things you ought to know now. It used to be called the fun stuff, to today's stuff to get into your day. Remember, our website is thisisaconversationproject.com. Remember that if you're new or old, because you want to know more details about what we do for the Conversation Project. That's where you find all the details when I have time to kind of explain it otherwise in the newscast going forward. A little late today, so we're going to get going right now. Oh, by the way, don't forget, email us as you will at our email address, conversationinbox@gmail.com. We have, as you said, 10 stories from the weekend of many stories. We'll explain that in the vetting process in a bit, but want to get into the actual headlines so we can get into our stuff for today. So let's get into the news, shall we? Because that's what we're here. That's what we're here for. So let's get into the news for today. Start off with story number one. Headline number one of that story reads like this: Mike Tyson's fight with Jake Paul has been postponed after Tyson's health episode. His health episode, he had an issue on a flight the other day where he had an ulcer flare up and he had to recover from it. And now that boxing match was set for Netflix will still be on Netflix, just not anytime soon. The flight from last weekend caused an issue that they wanted to make sure that Mike Tyson, who is 57 years old, is in pure health, is as healthy as he can be. So the chance to see Jake Paul get punched in the face with Mike Tyson, it will probably still happen, just not happening exactly when we expect it to happen. So not happening within weeks. We will see how this thing plays out. Now, many people, I saw some I guess TikTok, some videos of people saying that even people who really aren't really into fights, anything, at least now these days, because Mike Tyson sort of is a stand-in for Generation X and Jake Paul is just, Jake Paul. People just want to see Mike Tyson punch Jake Paul in the face. Everyone wants to see Mike Tyson punch Jake Paul in the face. So this is a fight that's anticipated. Netflix wants to get the big money for this and show that they can do these things live. We shall see how these things go going forward, this one in particular. Let's go on to more live stuff that's causing some issues for sports. Although the eyeballs are up, people are watching it, what they're seeing, they're not quite happy with. WNBA upgrade files on Caitlin Clark by Chennedy Carter finds Angel Reese for no post-game interview. A few games back, the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky had a nice little brawl going on. We should call it a basketball game. But a game happened where the WNBA has actually upgraded the foul by Chennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark to a flagrant 1, a bigger foul, which gives more details and more penalties for that one. The decision followed a review of the incident, which took place during the third quarter of a recent game. The foul drew significant attention due to the severity as it knocked Caitlin down, the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year, and playing fairly hard in the time she's got. The upgrade indicates that the league found the foul to be more severe than initially called. If you watched it, she just basically bulldozed the girl just because she was standing there. There was like nothing going on. Now, the other thing, Angel Reese decided not to show up for the post-game interview, which got her a fine because you're supposed to show up for your interview time as expected. Your stars, especially if you show up, they don't necessarily all have to be there at the same time. You don't necessarily have to have LeBron at every single interview, but if there's a media request for most of the folks, you put out the guy who actually is impact. Caitlin Clark's made all their interviews this time, being that she didn't want to talk about it. Angel Reese did not get on that stage, and she got fined for it. What will this mean going forward? Is there still a rivalry or a new rivalry going forward for the LSU girls and the and Caitlin Clark? We shall see as this one progresses. We'll see what happens as the season goes on. We'll see, because the Fever doing okay, not quite better yet, but they are just now starting to gel, if you will. At number 3 this morning, ChatGPT's voice closely resembles Scarlett Johansson's, says lab analysis. We talked about this last week, as Scarlett Johansson is basically suing OpenAI because their Sky personal assistant sounds a lot like Scarlett Johansson. In fact, OpenAI asked Scarlett Johansson to use her voice, which she declined, and now that they've been out there putting out there, they say it sounds a lot like Johansson's voice, and so lawsuits. Discovery has sparked discussion about the ethical implications of using celebrity-like voices for consent. Also, very similar, the Sky voice, to some pieces of Anne Hathaway, which I guess you can listen to the two and see they may sound similar, but when you do the forensics on it, the sound forensics, you find traces of famous people's voices. This has been a big thing for AI in pictures and images as people are using basically allograms of people, putting different people like Scarlett Johansson's eyes on Anne Hathaway's face and then someone else's nose, and trying to come up with a newer person who looks familiar, but you can't tell why because it looked like a whole bunch of people. Here's a case right here where the voice may be stolen, maybe tweaked for one person, or maybe a mix of a few others to kind of keep them out of trouble. We'll see how this one plays out going forward. At number 4 this morning, that story we have, the 4th this morning. Boeing Starliner countdown halts in final minutes. No retry date set yet. The launch of the NASA Boeing Starliner crewed mission from Cape Canaveral was halted just minutes for liftoff on Saturday. Said to be the first ever crewed flight for the Starliner spacecraft. However, due to specific unspecified technical issues, and lots of them as well, countdown was stopped within like seconds of it going off. And this has been consistent. No launch date been set. They didn't try to resend it up on yesterday, Sunday. We will see when they actually launch actual people in the Starliner crewed mission, because that's the big next step, is getting people in this thing. So we're back to launching people to the space station and the moon and things like that. The story we have listed for number 5 today, I should say 10 stories on the day for this Monday. Charlamagne the God considers leaving the Breakfast Club for a different role. This has been kind of a brewing undercurrent of things and what's going on. They've already lost one traditional host for the Breakfast Club, and this show, which is going on about 15 years as in major syndication, just as a big major show, may lose another host, being Charlamagne the guy that basically brings people in to watch it and listen to it. He's considering to pursue other opportunities, seeing what's out there. He's expressed interest in moving onto a more behind-the-scenes role, basically producing, bringing people in, bringing new talent, developing talent here, and getting off the air so he can do more things. He mentioned that he has a specific number in mind, how much it's going to cost, how much time he wants to put into it to do what it's going to do. But it's not so much really big on the money so much, but there is things happening. Now, his contract expires in December, so there's a number that must be going for his contract to keep him there or let him leave. How far he'll walk, we'll see. He's evaluating his steps and what's on the table. Maybe his departure will be something to a new, bigger thing in the entertainment industry. Maybe he'll be doing more things, producing directly from the Breakfast Club. We will have to see on this one. December right now is the target for what's going to happen next for Mr. Charlamagne, or Mr. the God, if you want to do that way. Oh, happy news, happy couple. Rupert Murdoch marries for the 5th time at age 93. So if you're 93 years old, you have plenty of time for 5 marriages. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch has married his 5th wife, or married for the 5th time, at least I should say. I think he's married somebody twice in there. He wed Elena Zukova. Say that properly. Put some respect on her name. 67-year-old retired molecular biologist at his vineyard in Morgan, at his vineyard Morga in California. The couple wedding marks a significant moment in Murdoch's personal life, coming a year after he ended his previous engagement, because he didn't marry that one. Zukova is now part of the Murdoch's extension's personal and professional legacy. She's a big-time person on her own, so it's not like he's just marrying OnlyFans models and doing this thing. She is a really accomplished person, so there's that. And she's married to one of the richest people in the world, most powerful people in business and media, which means something there. Love, who cares about love in this case? This couple will basically, ruin lives and break careers and do what they're going to do and cackle maniacally at evildoers and things like that. Mr. Murdoch is essentially Mr. Burns. He is. So we just have to see what happens, what's going forward. Here's a very interesting story. Update on Michael Jackson's kids. His family has been blocked from their trust funds amid an IRS dispute. The kids of Michael Jackson, Paris, Prince, and Biggie, of course known as Blanket, along with their mother, Catherine, have been blocked from accessing their funds from his trust. The situation stems from a long legal dispute between Michael Jackson's estate and, of course, the IRS. IRS is after you folks, so they're after Michael Jackson. The state's co-executors, John Branca and John McCain, no relation, have denied requests from the beneficiaries to release some of the funds until the tax issues are resolved. This dispute has been ongoing for about 3 years, presenting any distributions from the trust during this time. That's been the real secret of this thing. For about 3 years, the Jackson kids have not gotten Jackson's money or Jackson's mother of her kids as well. Are they doing bad for money? Probably not. They're still out there on the red carpet, still doing things. They're actually doing work, which is surprising because you're surprised that these kids would be doing any work. They're actually doing things more behind the scenes and not just being influencer folks. So there's that. How good are they at their job? I don't really know. But they're out there doing things and being in public and living up to legacy, if you will. But right now, not living up to that legacy with the actual cash per their pops. Let's go to headline number 8 this morning. This is Monday, so this is normally be the ending point, but we have 2 more to go because of the weekend. Let's get into the 8th story, which is the one that we've been sifting around back and forth. Finally put it in for the weekend for your engagement, and boy, did you engage in this one. Daughter of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt files court petition to remove father's last name. That is Shiloh Jolie Pitt, the daughter of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, filed paperwork to legally change her name by removing the Pitt from it. 18-year-old did submit the petition in Los Angeles County Court, Superior Court, May 27th, aiming to be officially known as Shiloh Navarre Jolie, assuming that is her middle name. The decision was made public shortly after Shiloh's 18th birthday, which she's allowed to do. She just basically has to file a petition, put it in court, and say, I'm changing my name. There are various times where you can change your name just out of the blue. If you get married to someone, you and your spouse can change your last name to whatever you feel like at that point in time because it's legally open. It's weird because women change their names to their spouses' names or men's names, or spouses now that it could be either way. And sometimes you hyphenate things back and forth. So that happens. But you can petition the court to legally change your name because that means all documents in the past need to be dealt with. That's why there's legal issues to this. And normally, if you're 18 or older, you have that right just to file the paperwork. People who are younger than that must file special petitions because usually they're looking for emancipation, things like that. And like I said, the weirdness about you want to change your name when you get married, you can both change your name whatever you feel like it because it's legal. I don't know. I'm not an actual lawyer, so I can't really tell you why. But Shiloh no longer wants to be a Pitt, which gives more sort of fuel to the fire that Brad Pitt may not have been such a great dad, may not have been such a great partner. And what we're bringing this thing is it brings up more questions about Jennifer Aniston and that relationship, which, ironically, the number 9 story deals with Jennifer Aniston, or technically Lily Tomlin, as Lily Tomlin wonders how Jennifer Aniston can reboot 9 to 5 when everyone works from home. Lily Tomlin has expressed skepticism about the feasibility of Jennifer Aniston's planned reboot of classic 9 to 5. Tomlin, who starred in the original 1980 movie, yes, it's that old of a movie, alongside Jane Fonda and Dolly Parton, noted that the modern work environment with many people working from home and engaging in gig work differs significantly from the office culture depicted in the original film. Tomlin highlighted the challenge of capturing the same dynamic in today's workforce because they're working from home. The world is what it is, and employees often don't even meet their bosses in person. Interesting. Now, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and Dolly Parton both sort of said, well, good luck to you, darling, but not really in on this one. They're not really attached to it at all because, as Lily Tomlin says, how do you do a office pool where people are typing in things when there's no office pool, nobody types, and now there's ChatGPT to do this work for you? She and many people are scratching their heads at why 9 to 5 must be rebooted, or at least entitled, at least, if not so much in spirit. We'll see if this movie actually happens. Jennifer Aniston's production company wants to make this thing happen. We'll see what happens with this, if it actually can be put into film. Well, I gave film, it doesn't exist either. Into digital, into pixels, I guess. And finally, this is either a happy note or a sad, disturbing note, depending on how you want to see this one. Drag queen storytime in Philadelphia sets Guinness World Record to kick off Pride Month. Pride Month is here, and yes, as Jordan Peters said, why are we celebrating Pride? Pride is a sin. Yeah, all that stuff. Yes, but let's deal with this story right here, and you can reply in the comments on how you want to feel about this one. I'm going to just read the story, and we'll go with that. We'll just engage in your comments to how we go with this one. From the Robot Editor, a drag queen storytime event in Philadelphia set a Guinness World Record to kick off Pride Month. The event featured performances by local drag artists and saw a record-breaking attendance, highlighting the vibrant celebration of LGBTQ+ culture. This accomplishment marked a significant start to their Pride festivities, emphasizing inclusivity and community spirit. check out the link, and we use the link from the local story at local TV station in Philadelphia to get the details on this one, to get the real numbers from this one and get what you want to. And then go ahead and celebrate or complain to us in the comments. We want your comments on this one. This is an interesting story because drag queen story time is essentially a big deal. It's basically a big deal in many places. People don't want the drag queens reading the kids, although they don't want to take the time to read the kids themselves, which is where the dilemma lies. You don't want people who want to give up their time because you don't like their lifestyle, yet you don't have the time to give up for your lifestyle. Yeah, you can see where the conundrum comes. Comment in the comments on how you feel about this one. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this a scratch your head thing? Do you don't really care? Some people just like, tell us what you think in the comments. We will definitely engage in this conversation going much, much forward. We're now at the part where we do our teaser story, which is where we explain the feeds and how we get stories into our conversational stuff, how we get to talk about things here on the show every single weekday morning and in the weekend shows where we wrap things up. Teaser story for the day is a really big deal. The headline reads, Mexico getting its first female president, Claudia Sheinbaum. She's her first female president. She's also the first Jewish president, former mayor of Mexico, so she had a lot of clout to get to this route. And the biggest thing she has to face right now is the violence, because many people running for office in this last election were actually killed during the election. Doesn't really make a good look for your election processes, but this is Mexico, and this is the reality they're living in. Now, what's this about feeds and what's this about teasing and what's this going on? This story was posted. We were running late, so posted a little bit before we actually started recording. We usually at 5:50 a.m. Today was closer to 6. And so this story is out there in our feeds for you to engage in. And if you engage in this story or any story we post out there across the actual internets, we'll talk about it, or we'll talk about it if you engage in it enough. Go to our feeds on Facebook and X, facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project, and x.com/th_conversation. We'll change that crawl sooner or later if we're not running late. x.com/th_conversation, and This Is a Conversation Project at Facebook. What you see every 50 minutes, we'll post a new story. Every 50 minutes or so. It sometimes get off track. You'll see a new story that you just engage in when you're checking out your other stories. Like it, love it, hate it, share it. You and the power of the internet tell us what stories are conversational, and that tells us stories we'll talk about. Today, we gave you 10 stories from top 30 stories from over 90 from the weekend. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll give you 8 stories, top 15 of the day, to present to you in this thing here. So check it out. Check out our feeds and make sure you're telling us what words to put into our mouth every single day for the Conversation Project. Now, we want to go to our sponsor for the week. And we've been doing this new thing where we basically stick to the same sponsor all week. And we're going to sponsor me this week. I will sponsor this all week long. It's all about me. So there you go. The Middle Manager Manifesto. This is my new book that I published last week, and it's got tools to survive and thrive in the world of work. 14 tools, 14 chapters. It's actually 17 chapters. 14 tools in chapters that give you ways to manage the world of work. So if you are a person who is stepping into the world of middle management, whether by choice or you want to actually move up, there are 14 tools here that can keep you going and help you progress towards upper management, have people see where you're going on. If you're just stuck in middle management and needs to figure out a way to manage yourself and maybe manage your way out of it, same 14 tools will help you get a hold of where you are right now, get a foothold on where you are, and keep on moving going forward. And if you just love middle management, some people like staying where they are, this will also help you as well. Check it out at Amazon.com. It's actually anywhere you find books online because it's shared all over the place. But we do have the Amazon and the actual Kindle link for electronic book that is out there at our website, on the comments, wherever you find this video, this audio, this newsletter, which you can't hear me if it's a newsletter. There's a link to Middle Manager Manifesto on Amazon. So if Amazon is your store, get it there. Otherwise, it's on Barnes & Noble. It's on various other bookstores online. Check it out today. $10 in paperback and $5 in Amazon Kindle format. Check it out. Tools to survive and thrive in the world of work today. So check it out today. Now's the time where we tease ourselves. We actually promote. Sometimes we have the promotions where we're sponsoring ourselves, and that's what today is. But we always take this point to tease and sponsor ourselves here and tell you about the Conversation Project. If you want to be a part of the show, you simply go to our feeds and engage in the stories, and you are a part of the show. You tell us what stories to talk about. If you want to be a part of the behind the scenes stuff, we ask you to consider being a partner, going to our partnerships page at thisconversationproject.com and see if you want to help us. You will literally help fund the efforts we do and help be a part in the background and, giving us being a part of our board of directors, essentially, to help us get things done. If you don't want to spend the money or can't spend the money, email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and let us know what we can do to fix things. Just email us and let us know what comments are there, or comment in the videos and audios. Do that as well. Comments there as well. Check out our website. As we said, this is conversationproject.com for you more details on how we do things, where the feeds come, or replays of all the stuff we do, plus links to subscribe to our newsletter. Very important to be a part of our, get your email in there because Facebook jail from last week and things going on. Update on Operation Chaos. No, we're not quite clear to get into the house yet, but that should happen this week. And when that happens, we're essentially tearing down this studio and moving things over to the old new house again, so we can get things kind of slowly built up. At that point, we'll only be producing the newsletter because we only have essentially the equipment to do that. It's a lot of different moving parts to do that. And so we'll have the newsletter going out pretty specifically. We may do some quick hits things with the news of the day, and we'll have more short hits, more quick hits, more hot takes and things like that, because we'll have, I want to spend an hour preparing for a video. I'll just have to spend about 30 minutes just doing the newsletter and then spend the phone TikToking, things like that. That was exciting. All that to say is, if you don't understand Operation Chaos, short version is my family has been displaced from a tornado for about 14 months. And about 5 months ago, we should have been back in the house. And so that's where the chaos is coming. The real chaos is coming from the fact that we may get in the house. We should get in the house this week. We should get operational to get in there. So it's going to take the time to get moved into the place and get back livable again. One of the middle things we'll do is essentially get a studio set up because we have to live there to be there. But that's going on there. More details on that. Just become a partner. You get more details. I'm going to send out a letter once we actually start the chaos and can explain things going forward. You can help keep the Conversation Project going by becoming a partner, by visiting our sponsors, and simply just by emailing us with support of how we're doing to keep things going. Otherwise, guess what? Let's have some fun, why don't we? It is definitely time for fun, because it is definitely time to talk about some things you might ought to know for today. Today is Monday, June the 3rd, 2024, and we got some fun things to get into for today. We always do our fun things and kick them off with birthdays on the day, and why not celebrate a pretty massive birthday for the Biden people love, Jill Biden, 73 years old on the day. Now, here's the thing. People aren't liking Joe Biden because he's old and not a good president. People aren't liking Hunter Biden because he's kind of a scumbag. People didn't like Donald Trump because he's Donald Trump, and some people were kind of, lukewarm to Melania, but more people said she was the jewel that kept things going. People loved Michelle Obama when they hated Barack Obama. They didn't really like Hillary all that much, but they loved Laura Bush. They loved Barbara Bush. They really got a digging thing for Nancy Reagan. That's as far back as I can remember for presidents myself. People love the First Lady, even if you don't love the president, because why can't you love the First Lady? Why can't you love the First Lady? They're wonderful. They're great people, and they humanize their husbands. And in some cases, maybe the first gentlemen will humanize their wives. We'll see when that happens. In the meantime, Jill Biden, happy birthday, 73-year-olds today, still campaigning for Joe, saying Joe can do this. She still works every day, for like 3 days a week. She's still an active teacher. She goes to work. This lady gets it done. Also, Anderson Cooper, 57 years old, the steely gray eyes and that gray hair of Anderson Cooper, who can just lull you into a sense of just trusting with his gaze as he slowly uses his dulcet tones to talk about the news stories of the day. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. He still says he's not doing the mole again, but we'll see if he sticks around with CNN as they have their issues with money, because he's one of the highest paid guys out there. And ratings aren't so great, but Anderson Cooper still getting things done at 57 on the day. Rafael Nadal, not quite getting things done anymore at 38, as rumors of retirement are happening because in the world of sports, the world of tennis, 38 is kind of old. Makes me feel really old because I'm, plus that by a bunch. But Rafa Nadal hitting his stride today, birthday-wise, maybe not if in the actual sporting event. History lessons for the day. Things that happened on this day, the 3rd of June. Back. Starting off with 1964, where the Rolling Stones debuted on the U.S. television on Hollywood Palace. That was a show hosted by Mr. Vegas himself, Dean Martin. In 1980, the NBA Board of Governors voted to make three-point goal a permanent part of pro basketball. It originally was in the ABA, big deal, and then it was basically when the ABA died and faltered in the late 70s, came in the NBA. They decided to make it a part of the NBA game so it would live because it was an exciting shot. Originally, the ABA, of course, if you watch the ABA that was around about 5, 6, 7 years ago, they brought out the 10-point shot because they needed a gimmick and didn't work. In 2019, Jay-Z was named the world's first billionaire rapper by Forbes magazine, putting him on the map, literally hanging out with Warren Buffett and those guys, being a billion-dollar business person, a real business man. Our word for the day, brought to you by the Big Words Project, is thew. This is a word you probably have not heard before. It's something that when I came across it was pretty interesting. But thew means physical strength. Using it in the sentence, the old blacksmith, despite his age, surprised everyone with his thew as he swung the heavy hammer with ease. Thew, meaning physical strength. So throw that out at someone today and see how they take it going forward and show your thew of your mental acuity. Well, I guess it's not physical strength, but you get it there. Big Words Project, go to thebigwordsproject.com and get more Big Words Project and see how you can buy our current edition of Words You Might Ought to Know today. And let's get to our daily affirmation, because more positivity is great for everybody. Today's affirmation is, my mind is full of brilliant ideas. This affirmation boosts self-confidence. Regularly reminding yourself of your intellectual capabilities can significantly boost your self-confidence. It reinforces the belief in your own abilities and potential, making you more likely to take on new challenges with confidence. This is why you can say to yourself, my mind is full of brilliant ideas. This is something that even without this affirmation that, maybe I'm a bit stuck on myself, I say to myself all the time. My mind, I've got brilliant, maybe not, but our mind is full of great ideas. All these ideas are good. Some of them aren't so great. Some of them you have to work them out in tests. But your mind is full of great, brilliant ideas, and you just need to work a couple out and get them going. You have it in you. Trust me. Finally, celebration. What are we celebrating today? It's Egg Day. Now it's Egg Day. Egg Day, where eggs are nutrition-rich food that has gone back and forth with science and nutritionists over the decades, with people asking how many eggs are too many for the healthy diet. Whatever the decision that you have this year, whatever they decide, we know that one egg provides an excellent source of protein and vitamin D. 75 calories and 5 grams of fat. It's an easy choice to satisfy hunger too. So an egg is great. One egg scrambled, one egg boiled, and great for you there. It is also Itch Day. And Itch Day is not exactly what you thought. So this just as an alternative to this one. Itch Day is a day that is celebrated, not so much celebrated, but what you find out is people who deal with dialysis actually often have issues with itching. And so that's a awareness of a side effect of dialysis. So this is a day for people who suffer from a specific type of itching that comes from essentially sores around the spaces where you're actually dealing with this. This is something that means a lot to me because, oddly enough, I know a lot of people who are kind of old, a lot of people who deal with dialysis. It is a thing that's a reality. So celebrate Egg Day as something fun. Commemorate Itch Day as something to think about. And basically, have a great day. With that, let's wrap up this day, at least for the video here, because it is Monday, June the 3rd, 2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Things You Might Have Heard. Sorry for being a little late, running long, so hopefully you're not, if you're watching it live, I'm not holding you up. Sorry for being a little long, so hopefully if you're not watching it live, I'm not holding you up. Hopefully you got great information out of this one because we enjoy doing it and we enjoy learning every single day we do this thing as well. It's getting longer, it's gotten shorter. My boy O keeps saying, be pithy. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. But we're doing our best to make sure this is a full-body morning deal for you. Also, check out replays ad nauseum wherever, because they live on the internet. Check out just audio versions, as we have the audio version of this. We take out the video and trim it up and send it out as a podcast. So just need to hear me. Check out the newsletter, which oddly enough was sent out 15 minutes ago. I wasn't do this live because we preset that one before we go live this thing. So check out the newsletter. No voice, no face, just the links and the information. Check out quick takes, hot takes, what do you want to call them, takes on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok, and check out some of the clips that we have. If this is too long, we'll take clips of 2 or 3 of the stories to get into, to give you a closer look at what's going on, and easier to comment on those as well. We need your comments, we need your conversation. That's what we need. We need you to engage with us. So go to us on the Twitter and on the Facebook, engage in the stories so we know what stories to talk about. Go to the email and email me so we know what stories to work on and what things to do, and consider partnershiping. Consider partnering with us by going to our partnership page. Also consider buying my new book, Middle Manager Manifesto. The More Better Media is a larger scale of things. This is one. The news thing is one thing of it. Part of my side gig work is doing with consulting. That's it. Consulting with people who are doing things in business and tech and trying to get small business on a better stretch. And part of my work in college, which is part of that is, management stuff, is learning and teaching things on management and entrepreneurship and things like that. So I'm a multifaceted creator. I am. I'm also running very long because it's 30 minutes in. So we're just going to get out of here at this point. Thank you for joining us today. Stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task, stay in the camera view, because apparently my camera's off. And also, I love you, mean it. Have a great Monday. Have a great week. We'll keep you informed on Operation Chaos as it goes. But in the meantime, enjoy your life.